Good evening, Facebook friends and YouTube followers. This is Rich again, back for your second video blog of the day for Monday, December 1st, 2014, around 6:10 p.m. in Billerica, Massachusetts. It was a nice and sunny day out, and highs reached the lower 60s today, but tomorrow's supposed to be real chilly, only around 32, 33 degrees or so, but plenty of sunshine and stuff like that. Some news to report. The Seattle Mariners have signed outfielder DH Nelson Cruz to a 4-year contract worth $57 million. Plus, he got a signing bonus of $3 million. And also, he led the American League in home runs with 40 last year. Nelson Cruz. Also, the New Jersey Devils have signed Scott Gomez to a contract. Scott Gomez used to play for the Devils for years. He broke in with the Devils back in 1999. That's a good move by the Devils. And that's about it on that. My next subject is about the classic Christmas television special, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer has been on the air for 50 years and it's been shown on CBS every Christmas. Has been shown on since 1964. It first made its debut on December 6, 1964 on NBC. NBC aired Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer from 1964 through 1972, and since 1972 it was on CBS every Christmas, and it's usually played 2 or 3 times a year during Christmas. It was produced by Jules Bass and Arthur Rankin Jr. It was narrated by Bert Ives, who was an actor singer, and he was Sam the Snowman. Here's the story of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Santa Claus's head reindeer, Donna, and Donna's wife gives birth to a fawn named Rudolph. The two are shocked and surprised that Rudolph has a shiny red nose, and when Santa visits the cave to meet the small fawn Rudolph for the first time, he's very surprised with the nose and stuff. He told Donna that Rudolph's never going to fit in with the other reindeer when he grows up and stuff like that. And Donna decides to try to conceal the nonconformity, his red nose. So Donna puts on like a fake nose, first made of dirt, then a cap, but it doesn't seem to work. And then Donna and Rudolph, like, they show them like the first year when he was growing up, the ins and outs of stuff. But then he warned Donna warned Rudolph about the abominable snow monster named Mumbles. And also another part of the story was they showed Santa Claus's palace in the North Pole, and there was the elves making toys, and there was one elf named Hermie who didn't like making toys. He wanted to be a dentist, and his elf supervisors were very shocked that he wanted to be a dentist. He tried to use dentistry skills on the toys and stuff like that, and the supervisors were mad. So he walked out as being an elf. And then they show Mr. Donna and his wife go to the reindeer games with Rudolph, who was a little bit older. Donna put like the fake nose, and the reindeer games were to show the young bucks to be training them to fly, so when they grow older they would have pulled Santa's sleigh. And Rudolph met fast friends with another one of his fellow young bucks named Fireball, and they strike up a quick friendship. And then they find they were spotted by 2 does, and one doe really had an infatuation with Rudolph. And Fireball told him to get acquainted with this doe. The doe's name was Clarice, and Rudolph had a spark and a crush on each other and stuff, and they loved each other. And Rudolph promised to walk Clarice home when the reindeer games was over. Then it was Rudolph's turn. Rudolph flied like amazing, and he flied again. And Santa Claus was watching. He says, not bad at all. And then Fireball and Rudolph were celebrating. They were playing games, but then the fake nose came out off, and then the red nose gets exposed, and Fireball was scared of Rudolph, and that ended their friendship, and the other reindeers were scared about the red nose and stuff like that. And then the coach, who was Comet, was just mad, saying to Rudolph to just go home with your folks. We won't have Rudolph playing any reindeer games. And Santa was mad at Donna, saying, you should be ashamed of yourself. And then Rudolph was running away, but Curly was shouting his name, Rudolph, Rudolph, you promised to walk me home. And then they walked him home, and Curly says that the nose was more handsome, just like the fake one. But then, Curly's father spots Curly's with Rudolph, and he said that she did not want him to be spotted with a red-nosed reindeer. And then Rudolph was mad, but then he met up with Hermie, and Hermie and Rudolph just formed together a bond, and they were running away. And then they just spotted the abominable snow monster Mumbles, and Mumbles was attached to Rudolph's red nose. He thought it was something special and stuff like that. Then Hermie and Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer met an explorer named Yukon Cornelius, and Yukon Cornelius wanted to find gold and silver. And then they found silver, and they were going to find silver and gold. And then the abominable snow monster Mumbles was trying to chase after them, and then they go to a body of water. But Yukon and the abominable snow monster Mumbles were trying to get after them, but Yukon Cornelius knew one secret about the abominable snow monster Mumbles. He could not swim. So they went on an iceberg to a place that got foggy and stuff like that. Then they hid into the island of misfit toys, and they met a jack-in-a-box. And this jack-in-a-box wasn't a jack-in-a-box, was named Charlie. And they met a cowboy who rides an ostrich, a boat that didn't float, a square wheels with caboose, and a gun that shoots like jelly, and a lot of other misfits toys and stuff like that. And then they met the ruler of the island of misfit toys, who was a king. He was a lion. He says they said that Yukon and Hermie and Rudolph could stay the night, and when they got back to Christmas Town, which was Santa Claus and North Pole, they could tell Santa Claus that there's toys at the island of misfit toys that need to be delivered. But in the middle of the night, Rudolph snuck away from Hermie and Yukon Cornelius, because the abominable Mumbles would scare like the other two off. So he just went on his home. He said goodbye, Hermie, goodbye, Yukon Cornelius. He wished him luck about becoming a dentist and finding gold. And then the sound of the abominable snow monster Mumbles comes up. And then they show time pass slowly and stuff like that. Rudolph existed as best he could, and the snowman gave him some fits, but he met a friend or two, and Donna and Mrs. Donna and Khalees try to find Rudolph because he went missing and stuff. But Rudolph became a grown-up buck, and there was one thing he did. He did not want to have problems. He wanted to settle problems. He needed to go home. And he did go home. But he got name called by the other reindeers and stuff like that. Then he went to the cave. Khalees, Mom, Pa, I'm home. But Santa Claus greeted him, says they're gone, Rudolph, looking for you for months. And he was real scared because Christmas Eve was 2 more days away. And without Donna missing, it could be like, who's going to pull his sleigh? He says, I'll find him all. And once Rudolph get to left, a major blizzard hit, and he didn't have too much time. He had to find his folks in Khalees. The only way he could find it is the cave of the abominable snow monster Mumbles, and Mumbles was preparing to eat all of them alive. And then Rudolph saw like Khalees being like chewed up by the abominable snow monster Mumbles. He says, "Put her down!" And he tries to fight the abominable snow monster. The abominable snow monster gets something and knocks Rudolph out cold. And then Hermie and Yukon Cornelius come in to save the day. And then Rudolph somehow gets up and sees his folks and Khalees. And then Hermie and Yukon Cornelius come in. And then Hermie has a trick. He cuts off all of the teeth of the abominable snow monster, and Yukon Cornelius wants to fight the abominable snow monsters, but they went off the cliff, and they thought he was assumed dead and stuff like that. And Hermie and Rudolph had to bring the others back to Christmas Town, the North Pole and stuff, and then Rudolph told about the island and misfit toys to Santa, and Santa said, "If the storms lets up, I'll find these home for the old misfit toys." And then a few minutes later, the door opens, and it was Yukon Cornelius. He's safe and sound. And he says, "This is not a night for man or beast. Here's a man, and here's a beast, the abominable snow monster Mumbles." And he reformed Mumbles to become a gentle monster. And he put the star on the big Christmas tree. And then everybody was working for the Christmas Eve, the busiest day of the year, all the elves and stuff like that. And also the head supervisor of the elves said to him, "You could open up a dentist's office." And then he checked the head like supervisor of the elves. He says, "I gotta make a first appointment for your 4:30 sharp." And then Santa got the weather report about Christmas Eve, and it was still miserable, still snowy and stuff. And he had to tell everybody he had to cancel Christmas because his wife, Mrs. Claus, said he was not eating up enough. He was skinny, who wanted to see a skinny Santa, but he had to tell Mrs. Claus that he would have to cancel Christmas due to foul weather. And everybody in the room said that was getting to Santa's message saying that Christmas is going to be called off this year. He's going to take a chance on the weather, but he saw Rudolph's nose and stuff like that. And he says, "Christmas is not canceled, and you're going to guide my team, Rudolph." And Rudolph says, "It's going to be an honor, sir." And then Rudolph's father, Donna, said he knew that nose would come along eventually, meant something, it did, and they were singing the songs. Some of the great songs on that show were like Fame and Fortune, and were a couple of misfits, Happy Holly and Jolly Christmas, and stuff like that, all sung by Sam Snowman, who was Bert Ives. And then they showed like the end of the story, like the end of it, where like Rudolph starts from the North Pole and with Santa guiding Santa's sleigh off. And then they show at the ending with the island of misfit toys. All the toys cry and says, "We've been forgotten about Santa again." And they said they would never get off the island. But then one of the toys saw there's a light, and it's Rudolph leading the way. And then Rudolph led the way, and Santa then grabs all the toys with help with his elves and stuff like that. And then towards the end of the story, they said, "You go down in history." And they showed all of the toys being delivered to all the nice kids and stuff, being flown by the elves and stuff. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. This is one of the greatest Christmas specials of all time. It's an institution. It's also on DVD. I have a copy that came out in 2003. But there's going to be a new copy that's out on video stores now and everywhere in 2014. So it's pretty good. It's one of the best Christmas specials of all time. And it's a 2 thumbs up, like Cisco and Ebert used to say. well, I'll be back later on Facebook friends and YouTube followers, my third and final video blog of the night, which will be about the personality profile Mark Messier, Hockey Hall of Famer, and 6-time Stanley Cup Award winner. Bye.